What's up, everybody? Here today with video number 3 of our video series of the masterclass. If you've not seen the other 2 videos, check please. There's a playlist. You can check the other 2 videos first. If you have seen it, welcome to part 3, where it's all about the society virus. How corrupted code installed by parents, teachers, and society is suppressing your natural success mindset, and the debug protocol that help you to restore it. Watch out for this one. Enjoy. So, secret number 2, the society virus. How corrupted code installed by parents, teachers, and culture is suppressing your natural success mindset, and the simple debug protocol that restores it. Has anyone ever told you that you couldn't do something? And did you start to believe them, even though deep down you knew you had the potential? If so, I want to share my own experience with this. Let me take you back to one of the darkest moments of my life, standing on the balcony in Marbella. 80K in debt, completely broken. But what was happening inside my mind was far worse than my external circumstances. Every morning I'd wake up paralyzed by a voice. You're a fraud, you just got lucky before, you don't have what it takes. The voice was so convincing that I began to believe it was actually me speaking to myself. And I will repeat this because that's so important. The voice was so convincing that I began to believe it was actually me speaking to myself, my true voice, my reality. I'd start projects only to abandon them halfway through, have brilliant ideas but talk myself out of them before taking actions, see opportunities but convince myself I wasn't good enough. The worst part, I believed this hesitation was protecting me from inevitable failure. I'd look at other entrepreneurs succeeding and think, they have something I don't, some special talent, some natural confidence that I just wasn't born with. Every night in the cold sweat, my mind was racing with all the ways I was fundamentally lacking. I didn't just feel like a failure. I felt like I was built to fail, like something was in my very fucking DNA that was flawed. Have you ever felt like this? Like, did everyone else get a success manual I missed? Or like there's some invisible barrier between you and the elite performers in your industry? You find yourself constantly second guessing your decisions, thinking, who am I to do this? Or you see others implementing strategies that you understand perfectly well, but can't seem to execute yourself. You look at successful entrepreneurs and think, they're just different from me. They have something I don't. That feeling that you somehow fundamentally lacking what it takes, not just in skill or knowledge, but in your very being, it's absolutely paralyzing, isn't it? It keeps you playing small, settling for good enough, watching opportunities pass by that you know you should be seizing. But then came the moment that changed everything for me, guys. Listen up. I was watching a 4 or 5-year-old boy in a park learning to ride a bike without training wheels. He fell, got up, fell again, got up. He did this like, I don't know, 50 times. After the 10th fall, I expected tears. But instead, he laughed, got back on, and kept going. That's when it hit me again like a lightning bolt. That child wasn't born with less fear or more talent than me. He simply hadn't yet been infected with the corrupted code that was now running my fucking life. I suddenly realized my I'm not good enough belief wasn't my voice at all. It was corrupted code installed in my mental system by specific experience, specific people, and specific moments in my life. It wasn't me, it was a virus. Let this realization sink in for a moment. What the fuck, bro? My mouse is fucked. What's going on, bro? Wait a second, boys. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Ah, merde. What the fuck? Scheiße. Okay, I'm back. So, is my computer overloaded or what? No, here we go now. Bro, what the fuck? This is really strange. Let me do one thing. Let me quickly do this. I don't know what happened, bro. I'm back now. Okay, so now it should work. Sorry for this, guys. Fucking hell. All right, okay. So, can you think of a limiting belief that you have that might not actually be yours, but something installed by others, something that doesn't reflect your true potential? If so, type virus in the chat. If there's anything that you believe come from somebody else but not from you, type virus in the chat. Virus, virus, more virus. 100%, bro. All of you guys have something that is not from you. We have so much shit inside our brain that is not from us. It's fucking unbelievable. And when you really learn to understand that, it's changing everything. Okay. So, this revelation completely transformed my approach. Instead of trying to build a success mindset I didn't have, I simply need to debug the corrupted code that was suppressing my natural abilities. Within weeks, I began taking actions that would have terrified me before. I started a new business. I approached high-level partners, including Allegro, a billion-dollar company, the biggest e-commerce marketplace of European origin. They did 2.2 billion last year, billion with a B. And I set ambitious targets. And most importantly, I implemented without the crippling self-doubt. 6 months later, I had rebuilt my business, paid off the 80K debt, and was working with companies I previously thought were out of my league. And here's what's crucial. I didn't become someone new. I simply removed what was blocking who I always have been. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been completely absorbed in an activity you love where time disappeared and you executed flawlessly without second guessing yourself? If you've experienced that state, even for minutes, you're better at implementation than I was during my darkest times. Because that flow state, that's your natural success mindset, breaking through the corrupted code. Or have you ever helped a friend solve a problem with perfect clarity, only to struggle with the exact same issues in your own life? That's not because you lack ability, it's because the corrupted code doesn't activate when you are helping others. It only activates when you try to succeed. Because here's the liberating truth. Your belief that you don't have what it takes isn't your belief at all. It's a virus installed in your mental operating system. And viruses can be identified, isolated, and permanently deleted. And I promise you this, once you delete the society virus from your mental operating system, implementation becomes as natural as breathing. The gap between knowing and doing simply disappears because you weren't born doubting yourself. You were programmed to doubt yourself. And what has been programmed can be debugged. It isn't about becoming someone new, and that's so important, guys. It's about removing what's blocking who you've always been. Do you start to grasp that? When I understood that, it changed everything for me. I was like, bro, what the fuck? I don't need to learn new shit. I just need to take this shit out that they put into my brain. And then I can get back and it can become get into this natural success mindset that I'm now fully in. I don't doubt shit anymore. I just fucking do the thing. That's what I do. All right. So, can you remember a time in your childhood when you tried something new without fear or hesitation? A time before all this corrupted code was installed? If so, type code in the chat right now. If you remember a time where you basically just did the things and you were really good at it and you didn't think about whatsoever what the people were thinking. Put code in the chat. Code. Let's go. You never had that? Okay, fine. Guys, I want you to be in there, right? Don't do other shit on the side, really. Okay, so maybe somebody, if you remembers, check had a one-on-one with me, but before working with Johannes, I couldn't even afford subscription for my agency. The doom and gloom in my mind, and that's typical Czech, if you know Czech is a typical Czech word, the doom and gloom in my mind was holding me back completely. After just 1 month of debugging my mental patterns, I felt a massive difference. 3 months later, my business was through the roof. I achieved all my goals, moved to Estonia, and worked as a consultant for AV, helping train hundreds of agency owners because this mental transformation made everything possible. Or Ronan, maybe some of you remember him, who said, my biggest struggle was fear of not having consistent revenue. I had this deep-rooted mental virus for my family. A stable job is better. Neo, that I got from Limitless Rewired, hit me with this perfect example. Why? It's safer to have one person paying your bills rather than 10 clients. After debugging this virus and doubling down on cold email, we've doubled our revenue to consistent 10K months. I realized growing a business isn't complicated. The hard part was fighting those mental blockers, stopping me from staying consistent with simple actions. So you see, nobody of them needed new strategies. All they needed was to implement what they already knew. So these entrepreneurs didn't gain new abilities. They removed what was blocking their natural success mindset. They didn't become exceptional. They simply stopped suppressing their natural exceptionalism. The transformations I've shared aren't exceptional cases. They're what naturally happens when you debug your mental system. This isn't about becoming someone new. And I will repeat this one more time. It's about removing what's blocking who you've always been. If you've never ever known exactly what to do, but felt something invisible holding you back from doing it, type that's me in the chat. So if you ever known exactly what to do, but felt something invisible is holding you back from doing it, type that's me in the chat. All right, guys, fire. So, but for sure, maybe again, there can be some objections in your brain, right? Always like this. First could be, for example, but my limitations feel so real, they must be true. Or I've tried mindset work before and nothing changed. Or what if I'm just not as talented, smart, or capable as others? These objections aren't your authentic thoughts. They are the society virus fighting to survive. This corrupted code is programmed to protect itself, to keep you from removing it. Just like a biological virus will trigger your immune system to protect itself. This mental virus triggers doubt and resistance when you try to remove it. Let's go to objection number one. But my limitations feel so real, they must be true. Of course they feel real. That's how corrupted code works. A computer virus doesn't announce itself, it disguises itself as legitimate software. Your limiting beliefs aren't experienced as foreign invaders. They're experienced as your own thoughts. The test isn't whether they feel real. The test is, were you born with this limitation? Did you have this doubt as a small child? If not, then it's installed code and not your natural programming. Objection two, I've tried mindset work before and nothing changed. Yeah, of course. Traditional mindset work tries to overpower limiting beliefs with positive thinking. It's like turning up your computer speakers to drown out the sound of a failing hard drive. It might mask the problem temporarily, but it doesn't fix the underlying issue. Mental debugging is fundamentally different. We're not trying to add more positive thoughts on top of negative thoughts. We're identifying and permanently deleting the corrupted code. It's a completely different approach that works even if traditional mindset techniques have all failed you. Objection number three. What if I'm just not as talented, smart, or capable as others? Let me go into this because that's so ridiculous. And this is perhaps the most painful objection, and it's also the most ridiculous piece of corrupted code because it disguises itself as being realistic or knowing your limitations. Look at the neuroscience. Your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons capable of forming more connections than there are atoms in the known fucking universe. The difference in natural capacity between you and the most successful person in your field is negligible compared to the massive impact of corrupted code. It's like comparing two identical supercomputers where one is running cleanly and the other one is infected with viruses. The difference in performance has nothing to do with the hardware. It's entirely about the corrupted software, right? Every widely successful entrepreneur I've studied or worked with has faced the exact same objections. The difference isn't that they didn't have these thoughts, it's that they recognize these thoughts as foreign installations rather than fundamental truths about themselves. Richard Branson wasn't born believing he could build an empire spanning hundreds of companies despite his dyslexia and dropping out of school at 16. He simply recognized that the voice saying you need credentials and perfect skills wasn't his authentic voice. It was corrupted code he could choose to debug. He famously said, and I love that, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, but you're not sure you can do it, say yes. and then learn how to do it later. I did this often. There's nothing better that you can do to really grow. That's what operating on uncorrupted code looks like. So the voice that tells you, I can't do this, isn't your voice. It's corrupted code installed by a society that profits from your limitation. And what has been installed can be deleted. So I want you to be crystal clear about something. You already have everything you need to succeed. Your natural success mindset, the one you were born with, is still there, just suppressed by the code. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about removing what's blocking who you've always been. I know I repeat this, but I do this with purpose because that's so important to understand. It's about debugging the society virus and restoring your natural implementation power. You can do this. Not because I'm saying it, but because your brain is literally designed for exactly this kind of transformation. Your natural state, your original programming is one of fearless implementation and extraordinary capability. So if something inside you resonates with this truth, is somewhere beneath all the corrupted code, you recognize that you were born for more than you're currently experiencing. Type, I can do this in the chat right now. All right, I hope you enjoyed part 3 of this video series. Then the next time I'm going to see you again in the day after tomorrow, always like I said, 5 p.m. with part 4, where we're going to discuss the implementation breakthrough. How to delete the external conditions virus that's keeping you stuck while others with the same time, money, and circumstances are scaling to 7 figures. Get ready for this one. I see you the day after tomorrow.